Alabama football practice starts back up again today. And the list of top recruit visitors that are going to be in Tuscaloosa is great. We're going to talk about that, a couple of those guys anyway, and some contract extensions. Nate Oats, an $18 million buyout on his extension, means he's not going anywhere. Greg Byrne got one. Hey, if I'm giving you one, why not take care of myself? We also know the details on another contract, and that's Kalen DeBoer and some of his staff. We're going to get into all that right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. That's a great way of saying roll tide. And let's get this party started. Hit the bell so you know when we're live or when we're dropping new content. All right, here's your invitation. All right, roll tide, everybody. What do you say with big, sexy Elmo? I'm Mick Gillispie, and it is great to have all of you guys on here. Brett, you got to unmute your microphone. And what I can tell you is this. It's at Brett Elmore Show, where I made a super guest appearance yesterday, and people in Walker County will be talking about that for many years. At Broadcaster Mick on the socials.
We talked about my trips to the bunny ranch.
You did. Yeah. I know, like, for your audience, which includes on your morning show 30 minutes of church, they probably didn't want me bringing up the bunny ranch.
The church crowd had probably tuned out by then.
But they were like, this Brett's hanging out with a heathen.
A heathen? Who is this heathen from South Alabama? That would be my friend.
That's Mick. No, I'm not a heathen. Look, I'm a good Christian guy with a great sense of humor.
That's right. Me too.
Yeah, you too. All right. Well, let's get into some football stuff, right? And we got football practice back again, which we're excited about. Mm-hmm. And there are some visitors that I thought that we should highlight. Who knows how many guys are going to show up, but we're going to talk about 3 of those guys today. Then we're going to get into all these contracts that have been extended. Alabama is like Oprah with the free cars. You get a contract extension, you get a contract extension, you get one, and your buyout is almost $20 million, which means you're not going anywhere.
Right.
Craziness. All right. So from my home state of Maryland, 2 big time guys are going to be in town today, watching football practice, hanging out with the coaches, guys that I don't know that Alabama is going to get yet, but I love the fact that they're coming to check out Tuscaloosa and what Alabama's all about. And we'll start with Tariq Hayer, who's a 4-star cornerback out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
Yeah, 6 foot, 175 pounds on his list. Kind of different than what we normally see. You say Maryland's on there, Penn State, Wisconsin, checking him out, Indiana, Memphis, but making the trip over to Tuscaloosa today. He also runs track. He's a guy that's the class of 2025, and some of the others we're going to talk about is class of 2026. But kind of warmed up to the Wisconsin, the Penn States, and the Marylands of the world. But after he visits good old Alabama, he may change his mind.
He'll be like me. He's going to be like, "Okay, you got me."
Yeah, this is the place to be.
Don't ask me what I think, because I'm going to tell you. Roll Tide. Another guy from the Old Line State is a 5-star, and another one of these guys that Alabama would really like to get. You're talking about 2 years though down the line, but Alabama's had success in Maryland.
Yeah, absolutely. Just look at you. I mean, you came.
I was thinking more like Stephon Diggs, but yeah, I mean, look.
But still, I mean, you count too.
I count.
Yeah, 5-star offensive lineman. This guy, he's like you say, the class of 2026, which means he's is he a sophomore?
I guess so.
Anyway, he's 6'7", 320 pounds.
Yeah, big guy.
And he's got a lot of growing yet to do. And, so that's about the only thing I know about this guy is just he's a big kid. But obviously he's on the radar of a lot of schools, including Alabama, because Auburn has been looking at him. Florida from the SEC, but then you had some others like Boston College and Marshall. But it's he's already gotten some offers from Syracuse, Boston College, Penn State has already offered him. Auburn has offered him. So it's a couple years down the line, but like you say, I mean, you're recruiting for the future, and this is another guy from up in Maryland at Georgetown Prep School.
Yeah, Georgetown Prep. Immanuel Iheanacho, he is a Florida lean right now, which means that he's willing to, come down south. So might as well go ahead and, start to build that relationship with this new staff. You love having those 5-star offensive linemen. I love the fact that Coach DeBoer and his staff haven't forgot about Alabama, right? They've done a great job of keeping the guys in state, but you got to go out and get the blue chippers from other places. So they're doing a good job. This is, it's exciting to kind of look around and go, okay, you know what? We're doing that. And another guy, it's probably going to end up at Ohio State, but Alabama's not afraid to go in there and fight for this guy. Max Riley was a 4-star offensive lineman, Avon Lake, Ohio.
Yeah, another one of those class of 2026, Avon Lake High School. Another lineman at 6'5", 263 pounds. All indications are he's going to Ohio State, but who knows? Texas A&M has offered him. He's going to make that visit to Alabama. He's got some other schools that are looking at him, Florida State and Texas A&M and some of those guys, like I mentioned, Indiana. But making the trip to Tuscaloosa today to see what it's all about. And yeah, even though, he's committed to Ohio State, that does say a lot about, our guys going in and saying, oh, you're committed to Ohio State. But yeah, you got a lot of time, and he does, to think about his future being in the class of 2026. A lot of these kids, maybe 2 years down the line when we're still doing this show, and I've got a full gray beard and fully gray hair, and I'm going, remember when we talked about Maxwell Riley? I told you he wasn't going to go to Ohio State, and he comes to Alabama. He's got plenty of time to make that decision.
Football practice has been fun. You're talking about the music. We're going to send Brett Elmore there. Brett, you got to go and represent us at football practice and dance while you're making a video. But it's been cool. I mean, to think about 70 guys showing up the last Friday before spring break, that's legitimate, man. I mean, all the concerns and all of the hate that was coming from the people down in the Byrne area of Alabama, fake concern, hey, this is their Brian Harsin. Look, man, Brian Harsin never connected with the high school football coaches like Coach DeBoer has already. And the fact that these kids are all coming from across the country to hang out at football practice, and he's turned it into kind of an event, is a really big deal. He's doing it his own way. This wasn't the Saban way. It's, playing music and having a group of visitors hanging out and kind of a party on the sideline and then this intense football practice. That wasn't the Saban way. But you know what? Coach Saban retired. And now it's Coach DeBoer. And we're going to talk about his contract because he's got 8 years now of Alabama football that he just signed up for. But I love it, man. I love it. I think that it's really important for him to do him, to be him. And he's doing that. And I think that it's resonating with players.
Oh, it has to be. It's infectious. I mean, anytime you go to, a practice like that, it's got to be infectious, not only to the players out on the field who love it, And of course they loved Coach Saban too. Don't get me
They
wrong,
did. Hey, I'm
but
not putting Saban down. I love him,
no,
man.
no, but this is all new to them also, and they're like, hey, but they're still not losing sight on the goal. That's the whole thing about this. Is it's great to have the music. It's great to do this and that, but we got to make sure that we're still focused in on what we're all about, and I think they are. But to see the recruits come in and then they see it, it's very infectious, and we've already seen it and talked about it, Mick. Right after that practice, we were talking about we're going to see the residuals coming up from this, and we did.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. All right, so let's switch gears here. Let's talk about these contracts. Greg Byrne extended Nate Oats. Nate Oats was going to get an offer, I think, from Louisville, if they were smart anyway, even with the $10 million buyout. If I was Louisville, I would have paid it. I'm a big believer in Nate Oats, and they have, let's be honest, guys. They have better facilities. They have a better structure for basketball than we have. We got to build up and we got to get there, but we're not there yet. That whole city is built on college basketball. So what did we do? We just made Nate a little bit richer. We gave him a contract extension, and then Greg, who's the athletic director, hit himself with one as well. So both of these guys with contract extensions, I don't have a problem with either one. I think Greg Byrne's done a great job, and I think Nate Oats is one of the best in the business.
No, I don't have a problem with it. And Nate Oats, you talk about this $18 million buyout. The buyout, it's a big one. And but he has so many bonus opportunities too. Just from everything from reaching the tournament to the academic side, he has a chance to really roll in on the money. And I don't have a problem with Greg Byrne getting his bonus as well, because he has done an excellent job as the athletic director at Alabama.
Yeah. Yep. And he kept us afloat. I'll never forget him fighting for football during COVID. And I needed that, Brad. I'm going to tell you, if football wouldn't have taken place during COVID, I never would have started the Bama Tailgate show on my own. When I was, unceremoniously let go thanks to an email from my old radio station during COVID, and it's turned into a lot of stuff. Look, that's the way that guy does business. The bottom line is this: is sometimes stuff like that turns into stuff like this, and it's been just fantastic, man. Whether it's the football show on Fridays or this channel or whatever else that we've connected with all of our friends and Bama Nation through, would have never happened if Greg wouldn't have fought and said, hey, we want football. We're playing football. And, and kind of having Coach Saban behind them. So I got a lot of appreciation for him. We've done nothing but win with class and dignity since he's been the athletic director. So that's fine. And it's hard, man. We had Bill Battle, one of the worst athletic directors ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, a guy like that can ruin a program like this in a second. So to have someone like Greg Byrne is important, and it's a good thing. And so, let's make sure he's paid. All right, let's switch gears now. Another contract. Kalen DeBoer, 8 years, $10 million plus.
Yeah, he's going to start out with $10 million in 2024, and then it goes up $250,000 each and every year until the end of his contract in 2031, which he'll be paid $11.75 million that year. So, no wonder he came to Alabama. It's we made a quick run to the bank.
Yeah.
After Coach Saban decided to retire. Not only is it an elite program and you have everything you want or need, you got players galore, but also you go and I'm not the brightest crayon in the box sometimes.
You're not? What color are you?
Well, it just depends on the day. But if I'm making $4.2 million and then someone comes along and says, I'll give you 10, what are you going to do, Mick?
Yeah, that's good math, but also the program, the fan base, I'm not trying to put down us as basketball fans in Tuscaloosa, but we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Football, we don't have anywhere to go. We're at the top. And it's like
the,
he went from being at Washington, where it was almost like Bama with basketball, with football there, to Tuscaloosa, where everything's built for you to have success and a lot of money.
Or Greg Byrne said, and this is really good. High level investment from high level coaches is an important part of the success we've had in our department, and I think that's exactly right. I mean, they're willing to invest, and he's one of the obviously going to be one of the top paid college football coaches in the country.
Yeah.
But yeah, $10 million. And then the assistants, they all got approval. Did you see their numbers?
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you about Robert Gillispie. We talked about him on yesterday's show. We saw his name pop up as a potential candidate for the running backs job at Ohio State. We talked about the Ohio State's got two of the best running backs in the country. I think he's going to stay. And one of the reasons is he just got promoted and he's got more money.
$850,000 a year to be the running backs coach. Offensive side of the ball, the co-offensive coordinators. Of course, you get this co-title. You'd think they'd make the same money, but they don't. Sheridan's making a little bit more than Shepard. Sheridan $1.35 million. Shepard's making $1.1 million. But on the defensive side of the ball, Womack, I guess he's the highest paid coach, assistant coach, $1.55 million. And I also noticed that Freddie Roach, he's getting a cool $1 million a year to coach the defensive line and be the associate head coach. He's worth every dime. And then probably more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. Well, guys, let me first off say thank you to Pearl River Resort for bringing you the show over in Choctaw, Mississippi, Philadelphia. Now would be a great time. Go over there for the tournament, sit in the Timeout Sports Lounge, throw some money on these tournament games, including Alabama playing against Charleston on Friday night, 4 versus 13. But you got the table games and the slots as well, Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, the Augusta that you can play. And you got all these great concerts coming up. The Wallflowers just played. No, Kool and the Gang just played. Wallflowers are coming up, right? Mm-hmm. Then you got just a star-studded lineup. Brian McKnight and Boys to Men. If you like country music, Big and Rich, Gretchen Wilson's going to be there, Lone Star. So it's going to be a really fantastic summer as we celebrate 30 years at Pearl River Resort.
I wanted to mention before we did close out, because you're a baseball guy, and we talked baseball a little bit yesterday. Notice where the baseball team rose to 11th in the country now in the new polls. And Mick, did you realize that 7 out of the top 11 are in the SEC?
Yeah, look, the SEC baseball, man, is it really is stacked, man. I mean, like, it is such a tough conference, and I think that win over Tennessee is. I mean, it really tells me a lot about this team. We still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
This is only the first series of conference play.
Yeah.
But to beat that Tennessee team as good as they are, I think Tony Vitello is one of the best coaches in baseball. You beat him 2 out of 3, you've done something. And that team played with poise and moxie, came from behind. They tried to give it away at the end, but they didn't. Got the big strikeout to win it. So congratulations to them. And after everything that happened last year, it really is cool to kind of see them right now anyway as one of those teams to beat. But look, it's not going to get any easier. I mean, you got to play LSU, you got to play Mississippi State, Ole Miss, you got to play Georgia. There's no let up. But if you're Alabama, great start, because it really shows who they can be.
Yep.
Great point. All right, Brett, tell everybody about the Brett Elmore Show.
Tune in weekday morning, 6 until 10 Central Time, WJLX1015.com. Of course, you can stream it on iHeartRadio. You got the TuneIn. You got the custom app. You have the terrestrial radio signal. If you'll call me, I'll put you on hold and let you hear it through your phone. Whatever you want to do. I don't care. Just tune in. And Mick joins me from time to time, just based on his busy schedule. He lives a very lavish life, and he has things he has to do, and jet setting, limousine riding. He does all that. He has to go to these baseball things, but whenever
flying,
he has time,
limousine riding, jet flying.
Hey, you've even got the bling too, like Flair. You can show
Woo!
that. You could get off that jet airliner in Arizona, and you have that big ring, and you flash it around like that. I tell you, I love it. I love it. But join me on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Check out Brett. And then finally, newlifeart.com, promo code Bama Tailgate, 15% off 4th and 31 right now when you go to check it out. And it's one of the most beautiful prints that Daniel Moore has done. So for Brett Elmore, I'm Mick Gillispie. Most importantly, thanking you guys for hanging out with us. Have a fantastic day and roll Tide.